She about her business, ain't no wasting time. Graduated, got her degree, she stay on the grind. She's so focused. That's the type of woman I like, and she own it. I tell her that all the time. She bad and she know it. Yeah, she know it, yeah, she know it. She don't ever have to do too much. Never. She don't have to prove too much.
Hey lovelies, hope everyone is having a blessed and lovely day. If you're new and don't know, I'm D Renae, and welcome to my channel. If you're an oldie but goodie, welcome back. What's up? How y'all doing? Where y'all been? It's so nice to see y'all again. Alright y'all, alright. So, as you can tell from the title of the video, I am going to be showing you all how I prep for my interviews, and whether that be a phone interview or a face-to-face interview, I'm going to show you all how I prep for it. So that's mostly how I research the job, the company, and all of the qualifications that they want the candidate to have for the position. So I'm going to go over that with you all today, and I'm not a professional. I am just someone who has been doing this for a while. Like, although I'm military, I also have held a civilian job for quite some time. So, and I'm always looking to progress and see what the next level, or, you know, what else is out there for me and how I can push myself to moving forward. So I'm always looking, I don't want to say I'm always looking for the next opportunity, but I'm always looking for the next opportunity. Hopefully you all enjoy this video and stay tuned. Okay, you guys, so I am going to take off my glasses because you can definitely see the glare in the glasses or the ring light in the glasses. So I didn't want that to be too distracting. So I just went ahead and took my glasses off. So, all right, y'all. Let's get into it. So I have my laptop here. Don't mind my cracks. This case has been with me through it all. Across the waters, across the world, across the states, in the trenches. It has been with me through it all. So don't come from my my laptop cover, okay? But I have my laptop right here, and I'm also going to be, as I'm talking to y'all, I'm going to screen share, not screen share. I'm going to screen record as well, so that you all can pretty much see how I go about doing my job research. And I have my notebook as well. I always have a notebook handy because I like to, sometimes I'll write it in my ooh. Ooh, hopefully I am not trying to get sick, but being that I have my notebook handy, sometimes I do like to write it in my sticky note section on my computer, but I like just writing it down myself. That way on the interview, I can just, if I do need to refer to my notes, I can just look at my notebook rather than trying to search my computer. So I am now going to, what I'm going to do first is I'm just going to put the company name on my paper as well as the job name. And that's, I mean, you don't have to do all that because of course you're going to know what it is. Then I am going to bring up the job on my computer, and let me go to my screen record so that I can start recording. Is it recording? Oh, I didn't hit record. Duh. Okay, you guys, so now that I have this screen recording all good to go, and this is the job that I have up that I am going to be, you know, doing some research on. So while I have this up, I am also going to, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open another screen. I'm just going to go to Google. Let's go to Google. And what I like to do is, of course, I would first I will research the company, and I'm just looking for basic information. That's just the how long the company has been established, headquarters, when it was founded, the current CEO, and most importantly to me, in my eyes, is their mission and their vision, and if they have like core values and stuff like that. I like to research those things because sometimes the recruiter, they will ask you, oh, well, what do you know about the company? Sometimes they ask you, and sometimes they'll say, oh, well, you know, first I'll tell you a little bit more about the company, and then we will get right into the question. So sometimes it varies, at least from my experience. I just like to be prepared just in case. So if they, you know, whichever route they go in, I am prepared. So being that this company that I'm looking at, I know about the company. I'm familiar with the company, so I don't have to really do that. And it's you know, it's a pretty known company, so I don't have to go that route. Now I would just go into the job description, the opportunity, and the requirements that they are looking at. So being that it's the same position within my career, sometimes what the type of systems that I've worked on in my career is not the same systems that they are requiring of the job, because there are a lot of financial systems out there. And if I've been with one job or one company for so long, and they only use this one type of system or program, that means I never got to experience, you know, what this job may use at their company. So that's the that's the only thing with that. But anyway, so what I would do first, and hopefully you all can see my mouse, but this is just pretty much like a generalized what the job consists of, what they're looking for. But what I like to do is, for this particular company, because I kind of know how their process is, their interview process, and the types of different questions, well, the different types of questions they will ask. Although I will not be too worried about, like, I won't spend a lot of my focus on. So, but I will still do some research. But this is generally like the basics of the career job that I'm going for. Like, this will be the basic information. But down here, like where it says specific skills, so I would come here and it says the experience and specific skills. I'm sorry. So with the experience, it says 3 years of experience developing market growth, business strategy, business plans, and financial forecasts. And the specific skill says 3 years experience in developing and tracking KPIs, including creating scorecards, generating reports, analysis, and outputs using MS Office, Microsoft Office. Financial data analysis, identifying opportunities by reviewing industry trends and business landscapes, and creating and executing monthly financial analysis, and 2 years of experience in long-term, 5 years or more, financial planning, and long and short-term financial modeling. So this is what I will spend majority of my time researching, because I am a nervous interviewer. I don't care how many times I've been interviewing for a long time. I don't care how long I've done it, how many times I'll do it. I am always nervous. So I always just like to be prepared. I'm not that person that just like, I don't have the gift of gab. It doesn't just flow off. So I have to prepare myself. So, okay. So for instance, we're going to say developing and tracking KPIs. So, and KPIs is key performance indicators. So what I would do is, so I will take that, I will highlight that particular skill that they are requiring. I will go to Google. Let's say not now. I will go to Google and I would, what would I do? So I would say explain, because this is usually how they ask a question. So I try to put it into Google how I assume that they will ask the question. So explain your experience with, and then I will copy that with developing and tracking KPIs. So As you can see, explain your experience with developing and tracking KPIs, and then I will just hit enter. So as you can see, if you just scroll down, they give you a bunch of different options and websites that kind of explain the how you would be able to best answer that question. Let's go to, hold on, let's see. Okay, and you know what? Sometimes I would like to do this. I will say interview question. Let's enter. Okay, so as you can tell, you know, the first website, it gives you pretty much how to do it. And as you can see, it says, how do you explain KPI in an interview? So yeah, so most of the time I like to put interview questions, because then it narrows down the search results even more to just interview questions instead of just explaining how to develop and track KPIs. It gives you a more narrowed search and targets interview questions and answers in that area. So let's try to go to, let's see. Let's go to this and let's click on that. So it says, let's see. So this looks like they're just explaining. It's not, this is just like a what do you call it? A feed, a board, I forgot what you call it. But that's not like an interview question and answer type thing. So let's try to find another one. And another one. So this is kind of what I do. Usually I get a whole bunch of different results. So how do you explain KPI in an interview? Let's see if they give an example, because most of the time they'll have the question and then they'll give an example answer. Okay, this is not a good one either. Dang, like let's go to this one, because this one was on the first page when we initially did the search. So let's just go to this one, because it indeed does have, they have a lot of good interview questions and answers and the best way to go about them. So let's see if they have at least an example of how okay. Y'all, okay, well, this is not helping. Okay, we got a winner here? Okay, so although, okay, so we're just going to use this example right now, because this is the closest that I can get without taking too much time to search. But usually I would try to search for like I said, for a more targeted answer to that question. But we're just going to use this for right now. I mean, it's the closest we can find. So explain how you would go about creating a dashboard to track key performance indicators. So you have, the explanation of what they're talking about and what it is. Performance analysts are expected to be able to look at a company's performance data and create meaningful visualizations to track KPI. Interviewer wants to know that you have the technical skills and background knowledge to create dashboards they need. Okay, so as you can see, they have the question listed, and then they say how they tell you and explain to you how you should answer it. Like start by explaining the process. Then identify the KPIs and the metrics and things as such. And then they give you an example answer. So they give you an example answer on what you say. And this is how I sometimes like to do my interview questions when there are things that I either don't know, have not touched at all, or, you know, I just need a little brushing up on. So this is like, sometimes, I don't do this all the time, but I'm just showing you like my extensive research that I do if I do it. I don't, like I said, I don't do this all the time because I've been in my career long enough to where I can kind of fake it to make it if I need to. So yeah, so this is pretty much how so what I would do is, I'm going to read it. So the example is, my approach to creating a dashboard would be first to identify the key performance indicators that need to be tracked and determine what data sources are available. I would then look for patterns in data such as trends or correlations and use that information to create visualizations with dashboards. So I would first, okay, so to this question, I would, of course, make sure that I'm familiar with what a KPI is, what it does, what it's used for in a particular position, like the overall structure of doing that and tracking it. So as you can, like I said, they give you an example answer, and then I would what I would do is I wouldn't write this complete example down. I would kind of reword this example into my own words, and I would just go back into, so, okay, let me go back. Let me rewind. Okay, so now that I have my example answer, right, I would then make sure that I familiarize myself with the KPIs and how you go about tracking them, and explaining that and making sure that I know and I'm familiarized with what it is and how you go about utilizing it, right? Then with the example answer, I go down here, and then I see that when doing that, they use different software or programs, which I am familiar with and I have worked in. So what I would then do is I would go back to the job description, and I would pinpoint this example with the description and what they do, if that makes sense. So I would try to merge my answer with the example answer into the job description, because like I said, every company, I mean, even though it's kind of like the same process, you would use it the same way, I would still then try to, like I said, merge my answer into what this particular position requirement is. And so, although this is kind of like a generalized answer, that's what I would do. So with this, I don't have to really do as much of kind of like merging with the information, because like I said, this is more so a generalized experience or skill, so to speak. And so yeah, so like I said, I would then write down in my own words, or I mean, if you just want to use this whole example, then hey, go at it. But me, I would just tailor it to my skills and the job description itself. So that's what I would do. And then I would just, honestly, I would just go throughout the job description. Like when I say, when I say I try to get as much information as possible, I would rather be overly prepared than underprepared. I would rather be over prepared than under prepared. So I would go through each and every one of these. I mean, like I said, some of these I wouldn't have to really get into, because some things I can just, I know off the back of my hand. and I don't have to really search out for. But some of the stuff that I have not done in a while, yes. So I will go through each and every experience, and I would just do exactly what I did here. Type it into Google. And make sure you say interview question for a more narrowed search, and then just continue to do that. That's how I do it, and that's how I like to do it. And so when I'm in my interview, I can just, if they ask a question, you gotta, when you're in an interview, like if you've done interview, you know how to kind of like, how to maneuver, how to work it. So when they ask a question, I'll always have my notebook either to the right, to the left, or right on my computer keyboard, or my, my laptop thing. I would have it right there so that they, I could still like look down or look, wherever I need to look to, if I need to turn the page or whatever. I try to keep it visible for me, but not for the interviewers. That's if it's face to face. But being that I know how this company interviews, I am definitely going to do extensive research on this. Like, I am, like, all of the skills that I have not touched in a while, I am going to be doing research, because I know, like I said, the basics of what you need to do and how you go about it. But tying it into some of the experience, I probably do have experience in it. 9 times out of 10, I do. It's just, I don't be remembering. Like, sometimes I can barely remember what I did yesterday. Like, and y'all want me to remember how I utilized this skill like 5-10 years ago? Come on now. So, yeah. So it's not like, you telling a lie. You just, you kind of exaggerate a little bit, okay? But yeah, so that's how I like to go about doing like my research, and it works for me. I will get into like on my actual interview days how I set up for that. That's a whole that's a whole different ball game, okay? How I set up for my interview, somebody, like, if y'all was to see what I do, y'all probably be like, girl, you do too much. But when I say I am a nervous interviewer, I don't care how long I've been doing it. I don't care how many times I do it. Interviewing will always be a nervous thing for me. Always. That's just me. Like, I'm not just one of those people who just like it, who have the gift of gab. I'm not. So, and I'm okay with that. Like, I'm okay with that. So, but I know what I need to do to make sure that I'm prepared and make sure everything flows, because as you can tell, when I do get to going, my nervous tick is I just talk. Like, and I can repeat myself a lot. And yeah, definitely don't want to do that in an interview. So for me, it makes me feel better, and it calms me more when I write everything out, or when I have everything laid out for me instead of just going, so that's what helps me. So oh so let me stop this. Okay, you guys, sorry about the glasses, but y'all just gonna have to work y'all just gonna have to work with me really quick, because I'm ending this video right here. We are done. So hopefully you all have enjoyed this video, and hopefully it helps someone who may be in their beginning processes of looking for jobs, who may, be like me, really nervous at when they're going in for interviews and stuff like that. So hopefully this helps someone. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section down below, and I'll be more than happy to ask them. And if you have your own different tactics and processes that you use when you're going into interview, or how you like to do your research, also leave them down below as well, because you never know who they may help. Your process may be completely different from mine, so I may be able to take something of what you do and apply it to what I do, and it may help me even more, or it may help me better. So, you know, I'm not saying, like I said before, I am not a professional or anything. I'm just someone who has been, you know, interviewing for jobs for quite some time. So I'm taking everything that has helped me along the way, and I'm just kind of showing that with you all. And of course, we're not going to get selected for every job that we interview for. That would be perfect if we did. But, you know, we just not. But I will say that the processes and what I have done for me and what works for me has helped me. And my overall thing is, like I said, I don't have the gift of gab. I'm not someone that could just pop off like that and just let it flow. I'm not that person. So, and that's okay. I'm okay with that. So for me to be, for me to feel prepared and for me to be calm, these are the things that I like to do, and that's what helps me. Someone else, they just may be able to go in there and off the dome just be like da, 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 and start going, whether they know it or not. They just like I said, may have the gift of gab to where they could just put some stuff together and the person be like, they have the person more convinced than themselves. You know what I mean? So it's just all in your comfortability level and the things that help you. Not everyone is the same, and that's okay. And I'm okay with that. Like, I'm not going to feel bad because I'm not a person who just enjoys interviewing. I'm not. Like, I barely like talking to people. So I'm okay with that. I'm more than okay with that. So like I said, if you have, you know, your different process and taxes that you have and you go about doing it, leave them in the comments. Let's communicate. Let's talk about it. Let me rewind. I do like talking to people. I do. Let me know. I don't want people to think like, I don't even like talking to people. I do like talking to people. I just I want in an interview type of setting. I really don't like talking to people because they're looking for this perfect person, and I don't think there's a such thing as a perfect person, because you can find a person with all these skills and experience and they are horrible in a team setting. They're a horrible worker. Like, so I feel like anyone can be trained up, anyone can be mentored, anyone can be led. That's just my personal take. Like, I don't want to just get someone with all of the experience, just this perfect candidate on paper, and but they're a horrible person or they're a horrible employer overall. Like, in the long run, it doesn't help me. So again, let's just have a conversation. Let's just have a conversation about it if you have different ways, because it may not only be able to help me or you, or even someone right now. It may help someone in the future along the way who may just begin in their journey, who may be seasoned, but you know, they are not having success. So you never know who it may help. And so I know that I am not the first person to go through this. I won't be the last person that go through this. And I am not the only person going through this. So, you know, if I can, you know, the season that I'm going through right now, if I can take what I'm doing and everything that I've learned over the years and give that to someone else to help them, then that's what I'm going to do. And that's what I'm doing. So hopefully this video did help you all. And one other tip that I would say is reach out to the individuals that you know, network with people. So I know someone who is a recruiter, and she is very, very good at her job, very good. And so what I would do is I will probably, because it's very intense and they ask all of the experience and technical questions initially. And although I found that quite crazy, because it's just like, well, how do you even know what to look for? How do you know, like, what I'm saying, what I'm giving you, what I'm explaining to you in my experience doesn't really correlate to what the hiring manager has given you to look for in the skills. So I don't know. I think I don't know. I mean, I'm not a recruiter. I don't think that that's the best way to do it, because like I said, like, You're only looking for what the hiring manager has told you to look for. How I'm explaining it to you may be in a totally different way, but it's like I said, it still may correlate to exactly what you have on a paper or something like that. So yeah, I would just like, I plan on actually reaching out to her, because I actually forgot that I knew someone in that area. But I would probably reach out to her and ask her, okay, so when you're doing interviews, what do you specifically look for in this type of situation? Like if a hiring manager comes to you and give you all of what to ask initially, what are you looking for? Are they looking for keywords, or, you know, are they looking for you to say certain things? Or are they just looking, like, what are they looking for? And even still, I may reach out to someone who may be in that career field and have more of a more skill sets and more experience in that career field, to ask them different technical questions also that I may have researched or something like that, and just ask them. So, okay, well, I know that you're familiar with doing CapEx. So that process, how does that look for you when you do it, like overall? Or I know that you are familiar with doing expense reports. How does that process look for you? I will reach out to somebody, because at least the people that I know, look, we want to see everybody win, okay? So, sis, what you need? Let's go ahead and go through this. You know, sometimes I have to reach out to people and ask them about a program, because I have not worked with that program before. So I will ask them, okay, when you working in this program, how do you do? Like, what is your process? What is your work day, and how do you go about getting the product? Because I'm not familiar with this program, but I can take that information, because essentially, like I said before, all programs are going to do the same thing. It's just the parameters and the process it takes to get the end product. And generally, that's how it is. So yes, again, if you have questions or your own comments and processes, or your input, go ahead, leave them down in the comments below. And definitely let's talk about it, because I want everybody to win, okay? I want everybody to get their dream job. I want everybody to be successful at this, or at least be more, walking it more comfortable. So yes, so I'm not gonna get into too much more. I prayfully, we move to the next round. We do have several interviews coming up, so prayfully we move to the next round, and then I could get into, like, 9 times out of 10 it will be a virtual interview, on-screen interview, so I can get into kind of how I prepare for those types of interviews, because how I prepare for, like, my phone interviews is different than my virtual interviews. Very different. It has the same process, but because it'll be the second round interview, I don't have to do as much as I did previously. And like I said, sometimes it's different. So I will get into that as well. And hopefully you all enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you do have any other, like, video questions or ideas that you would like to see, or maybe have questions about, communicate with me. Let's talk about it. But yeah, so thank you so much for watching again. Make sure you comment, like, and subscribe. And until next time, catch you in my next video. Deuces.